A few more calls we'll get to, but Nina asked the question, what advice would you give to a parent that's trying to navigate some of this moving forward and maybe not knowing where to start?
So that's why Nashville PROPEL was created, because we realized that if parents could navigate the system, first of all, they could hold the system accountable.
Yeah. And
also, we believe that partnership is important. Yeah, everybody's got to bring something to the table. So joining Nashville PROPEL by going to our website at nashvillepropel.org and talking to our organizers, going through the fellowship, the 6 weeks fellowship. I often talked about a parent that we had a couple cohorts ago who had 3 jobs, who at 6 o'clock every Thursday for 6 weeks, even with her drive-through headset, virtually attended the class because she cared.
Wonderful, yeah.
Because she loved her child and she wanted better for her child. And I believe that parents love their children. I have not met a parent that does not care about their child. I have met parents who have drug addictions. They still care about their children. I have not met a parent who does not care. I believe that people do have issues, and we want to help them to work through those issues. We want to help them to navigate by understanding. First, you got to understand the system. You got to understand the history from Brown versus the Board of Education. You got to understand why Rosa Parks sat on the bus. You've got to understand what's going on. You got to understand redlining. You've got to understand those things, and then you have those aha moments when we show you data. Then you have to be able to navigate through that. You got to be able to understand what the data is even telling. It's a receipt. It's the only receipt we have as parents and as a community to know what's going on in these schools right now. Otherwise, people can tell us anything. So joining our movement is the thing that I am asking parents all across this city to do.
National PROPEL, as it says, 4,000 strong and counting, right?
Yes.
So, but join. Again, they can go
NashvillePROPEL.org, our website.
The bigger and stronger that group gets, and 4,000 is a lot in this city. That comes with power, and I just think the more people that join, the better you'll have a chance of getting through maybe to some of these folks that need to listen. Let's go to Torvis next. Torvis, good morning. Hi, Torvis.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Torvis Gardner, Nashville PROPEL powerful parent. And I've listened to the lady Bridget talk about a kid coming into school. We talk about elementary school, but let's talk about the high school. We have 12 high schools our kids go to, 4 more priority school lists, 7 are targeted, and then we also have a school that was labeled a dropout school, whereas 53% of the kids are dropping out of school. I think we need to discuss that issue as well, because those kids are the ones that get ready to go out into the world, and they're not prepared. They can't read, they can't write. So what's your thoughts on that?
Thank you. She was telling me, Torvis, during the break about you have a student, a son, who is going to be going into the real world in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so John Hopkins, which everybody knows who John Hopkins is, that research center, has labeled Glencliff High School a dropout factory. A dropout factory, according to their definition, is any school that has greater than a 60% dropout rate. And they label Glencliff a dropout factory. They have a 53% score.
And what is it? Okay, now, and what do you think? And I haven't seen the Johns Hopkins report on the specifics of that. What's the reason for such a high dropout rate? Is that directly related to maybe these kids realizing, you know, they can't read, they're not getting anything out of this? I'm going to go try to get a job?
It's, you know, I always like to look at trends. So you have to look at, well, what is the elementary, the middle school that feeds into the high school? And so those schools are low performing. You've got to look at the zip code, who lives there, what's happening in that community. It has a high Latino and Black population. And so as we look at literacy and math scores from elementary to middle, then you can see why
it all corresponds.
It all corresponds.
You probably could have looked at that and predicted this would happen. You know,
the NAEP scores came out, the National Report Card, which is the prophecy. It is the prophecy that we're seeing now. Everybody was celebrating a few months ago that the NAEP scores dropped and everybody went radio silent because it was the prophecy. It is what we have been talking about for years. And saying, hey, these kids are not doing well in this school. I love that people grow. We all need to grow. But we got to look at the rate of growth. Are they growing fast enough? Are they growing too fast in certain areas and then stopping? Like, growth is good, but growth does not necessarily mean that they'll have academic achievement.
That's right, as we've seen, and it's not always fair. Let's squeeze in real quick someone who I think you knew, who we just saw in the clip. John Little is joining us. John, we've just got a couple minutes. Go ahead, John. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you, guys. I just have a comment. I think we have to have leadership that deals with the ugly truth. When I think about Barry Trotz and Jeff Fisher, like, they helped propel the Titans and the Predators to greatness. And at one point, when the winning stopped, the money dried up, and leadership made a coaching change. In education, when we look at our graduation rates, our literacy rates, and think about what are the kids doing in Nashville, it's kind of hard to have success. And when I hear 11%, like, on grade level for reading, like, we have to identify the ugly truth, and we have to hold leadership accountable. And it's not personal. I love Jeff Fisher and Barry Trotz, but leadership saw fit that it wasn't working, and they made a change. And we got to figure out that change in Nashville so it works for everybody.
Thank you, and that's a great point, and that kind of ties in with what I said. Propel has 4,000 members now. You have the power to help facilitate change if you've got all these voices saying the same thing and echoing what you're talking about here. Now, we just have a minute and a half left. Going forward again, and it's great to have you on. Like you say, these numbers, the Metro Schools report and where that is, just remember, the numbers don't tell the whole story. Okay, there's progress, but there are still a bunch of kids being left behind.
There's a bunch of kids left behind. I want everybody to make sure that you go to our Facebook page. We have a poll that we're doing where we're giving some information about this new state report card that came out.
Got it up there now.
And it is asking about awareness, and did you know about grades 3 through 5? And I want you to go to our Facebook. It's at Nashville PROPEL. And I want you to take this poll, because we're going to keep doing these polls over through the course of December to measure awareness, and also to figure out what actions as a city we need to take. What actions as a state.
That'll help indicate what people are aware of. And I hope when that poll is completed and you get the numbers and other ones, I want you to come back on and talk about what you've learned from the poll.
I'll come back next month. Can I come? Can I come back?
Well, sure. Absolutely. No, we'd love to have you on. This is an important topic. When you came on last time, a lot of people have interest. A lot of people watch around. It's important to me. Look, it's for all of us. You're right. Everyone has to have an equal shot, and it's not fair right now. And thank goodness for you and everyone else who's joined Propel. All right. So I hope more people join it. And yeah, I'd like to have you come on. Let's do that, okay?
Yes.
In the meantime, you make another caramel cake and have a wonderful holiday. It's really good to see you. She's quite the cook. Really appreciate you coming on, Sonya. We'll talk again next month. We got a date.
We got a date.
It's on. Folks, take a break. Programming note right after this. Thank you again, Sonya.
No, thank you.